Antigua and Barbuda is one of the precious jewels of the Caribbean. The country stands at the high level from many points of view. Incredible nature and pink sand beaches, prime views and treatment wherever you stay, and last but not least, an incentivized program that offers local citizenship if you're interested. You will learn about all of this today as I split my time between the two islands. My name is Sorin. I throw darts at the world map and travel wherever they land, no matter how far or difficult it is. Besides traveling with me, I invite you to do whatever you love before it's too late and live a life with no regrets. My passion is travel by dart. In the last episode, I discovered the bigger of the two islands, Antigua. I had fun at Nelson's Dockyard and Shirley Heights, and I even took a sailing lesson, since this country is known for the abundance of yachts and boats that it hosts every year. Even more, the Tourism Authority surprised me by inviting me to speak on national television about travel by dart. Today, we'll dive into the beauty of Barbuda and introduce you to some of the country's local heroes. Barbuda only has a couple thousand people because it was completely destroyed by hurricanes in 2017. Everybody was evacuated. Now the infrastructure is being fixed, but most of the people were sent to Antigua. So now Barbuda is growing again. The distance between Antigua and Barbuda is about 40 kilometers. You can take a small plane, you can take a boat. Actually, I'm very excited because we'll take a 7-seater plane. The flight from Antigua to Barbuda takes about 15 minutes. You get a great experience and even have signal on your phone. But Barbuda is so flat that no wonder sometimes it gets hit by hurricanes. Welcome to Barbuda. The main activity here in Barbuda is the export of lobster and sand. Occasionally they have racehorses too, but that's just a hobby. I was super excited to get to Barbuda because they have 3 major things that I was kind of pumped to see. The Indian caves is one of them, which I like the most. Dates back 400 years before Christ. You can see faces, people, how they scribbled and they chiseled in that cement or rock.
They were basically kind of a spiritual, they worship the sun and stuff like that. So when they come to the island, they'll find some place that they'll do like the rituals, like, paintings and drawings, and it was a sacred place. So drawings and so on are in this cave right here.
How long ago? What year was it?
That's the BC, before Christ. About 400 years before Christ and so on, yeah.
At the same time, I discovered a new concept. So I've been traveling all over the world for so many years, but this is the first time where I ever heard of the concept of geocaching, meaning that there is a box in random places in the world, like random places and hidden like this, where people leave a personal item in a box, and then they take one that's already there. So we found one, that's right here. That's what it is. And it seems pretty old. It's all kinds of storms have been here. But then when you open it, there's a bunch of little things. Like, see, people leave things in here with names and nothing too, worth taking, but I'm not going to take the dollar. Look, all kinds of personal stuff. Congratulations, you found a geocache, intentionally or not. Geocaching is the anytime, anywhere adventure where players, called geocachers, use an app or GPS to find hidden containers around the world. I think I leave my passport here. You know what? Maybe I should leave my plane ticket. Well, I used this already, so I can leave it here. There you go. I'll take my passport back. And I'm not gonna take anything from this box. There you go. After the caves, the second most interesting landmark or activity that you can do here, and I really wanted to do, is to see the bird sanctuary. This colony is the largest frigate sanctuary in the Western Hemisphere. The sanctuary contains over 170 species of birds, in addition to more than 5,000 frigate birds that call Barbuda their home. What's interesting about this is that you can recognize the males by seeing their big red balloons. The females have a white chest, and if you see that they have white heads, those are juveniles. I came right in the middle of the mating season. They were everywhere. So what happens is after they mate, the males take off, disappear, they go to Galapagos Islands or other places, while the females actually stay with the babies and raise them. And the third activity we went to do in Barbuda was going to the pink sand beach. So what makes the pink sand? The pink sand is created by tiny, tiny shells that come from marine organisms. And over time, they decay and they get so tiny that when they're mixed with the white sand, then it gives that pink hue. The pink beach gives you such a good feeling. I was all by myself, my crew was back on a boat, and I walked around for a while, just thought that all the good things that happened to me, and I was preparing to come back to Antigua and move into my new place. Probably the most surprising part about Barbuda was the presence of hotels. Do you know how many they have? There is one hotel.
Barbuda Belle is built from bamboo. You're not going to find another like this any place in the Caribbean. Barbuda Belle being the only hotel that is operational presently, besides a few guest houses.
Of course, you can find accommodation using, the online platforms like small houses and private things, but as per hotels, there is only one. One amazing and interesting thing I found at Barbuda Belle, which I've never seen anywhere in the world, is the beds. The beds, they have remote controls because it's so hot. Barbuda is so flat and it's extremely hot. You get to control the temperature of your bed. Rather than waking up sweating or using the air conditioning, you can control the temperature of the bed so you can have a good sleep, healthy, and start the day fresh. For such a small country in Antigua and Barbuda, I've met some of the most unique people. Not only I've met a person who just went to space, a participant to the Miss Universe, but also a rock star from a band back in the 80s. Anthony Bradley offered his property for me to stay in for my second part of the trip to Antigua and Barbuda.
Meeting Sorin was a warm, lovely feeling, actually, because a lot of people want to do interviews, but it's about them interviewing you, whereas in Sorin's case, it was like, I want to know about you. What do you do? How do you do?
Anthony Bradley is part of a band called Black Slate, who made history back in the 80s. Him and his band, Black Slate, have the famous song, Amigo, Amigo. Amigo, Amigo. They were pioneers in what they did.
I made my first record at the age of 12. I made my second record at the age of 15, which became a UK major hit. And then in 1980, we had a hit song called Amigo, which is about the father will never let you down, believe, have trust. And so it's a record of encouragement. And it went to the charts. It was #1 in Holland, #1 in Belgium, #1 in France, #1 in New Zealand, top 10 Australia, top 10. You know, the record did very well. And to this day, the record is still played. And still having the opportunity to tour and perform to people and play that song that they still love.
Anthony has a very interesting story why he ended up here, because he's originally from UK, but what impressed me is beyond the music and the film career that he had a very good reason to come here.
Came to Antigua to school my boys because I wanted to give them a good education and to really go to that next level of business, so that I'm able to do the things that I like doing, which is play music, DJing, and now making movies.
His career has moved into filmmaking, and he's been working on a couple of projects.
I've made 2 movies. #1 movie is Sticks Man, which is about the record. And it's my story explaining that time in England in 1976, what it was like as a young DJ, reason for making a record, being afraid to play the record to the people because you're technically making a record to tell somebody that you're doing something wrong. And then after that, D-Jam Reloaded, which is my latest movie. Yeah, which is about a festival that we used to have here in Antigua. We did it for 8 years, and we decided to bring it back.
He invited me to stay at his property. It's called Buckley's Country Club. It's an amazing set of buildings where you can actually come and visit and stay here. But what's so particular about it, which I love, it's like a home away from home. You have apartments, you can have little villas that you can rent, and you have kitchens. So if you come for a longer stay, you don't have to just stay in a hotel and pay an expensive trip. No, you get your groceries and do your thing.
If you want to go a little bit further, we also have private chefs who come in and cook for you, or we have people who just come and cook your breakfast, cook your dinner.
You really get to feel the island vibe, because all over the complex here, there's a lot of coconut trees, and they can cut it for you, you can serve it. You feel the authentic vibe that's all over the island. One of the most interesting people I have met in Antigua is Heather Doram.
I'm an actress, I'm an educator, I'm an activist for women's rights.
She was the one who designed the national dress, which I've never ever heard in all my travels, close to 100 countries now, that a country actually organizes a contest for somebody to design the national dress.
There was a competition, 1992, I think it is, way not too good. This competition, a group of persons came together because they realized we were going to the Olympics and other places like that, and we didn't have a national dress. So it was open to all Antiguans and Barbudans, whatever age, size, whatever it is. And they asked me to be a judge for that competition. I thought about it long and hard, and I said, no, I don't want to be a judge. I want to participate in this. They gave us a criteria to work with. They said that the design had to be based on the immediate post-emancipation period in Antigua and Barbuda. So that entailed us going to do some research at the archives and the museum and things like that. They took something with a historical context. So all of us did our research and came up with designs based on that period. I wanted to keep a bit of my African ancestry and incorporate it into our local culture. Yes, we're Caribbean people, but our forefathers came from Africa. So I chose a madras which had the colors black, red, and green, which persons in the region identify with, being Rasta and being African. And one of my male designs won and one of my female designs.
Heather is bubbly. Oh my gosh, she's such a fun person. I would like to have her around. And I had a great time for a few hours at her house. Got to see her paintings, and I think I'm buying one of those because they are absolutely incredible. Ever since I came to Antigua, I've been hearing every day references to alcohol. And I mean, it's part of the culture. And I thought, what's a better way to actually get involved into this than to go to something that's very authentic, very real, and that is Antilles Stillhouse, which is the only place that does gin on the island in a traditional way.
Welcome to Antilles Stillhouse. So we are a very tiny family-owned and operated botanical distillery. That is, we're using flavors from the island to flavor spirits that speak to the island and what's here. Process-wise, for making gin, you need juniper and you need neutral spirit. I'm starting with Caribbean brown sugar. Stir it up with water, add yeast, ferment that. Ultimately, all alcohol is made by yeast. And basically, we'll end up with something like a strong beer. It'll be 9–10% alcohol. I'll take that over, pump it into the still. Most days you'll find me set up just like this, ready to make alcohol. It's what's called a hybrid pot still, because we've got a column on top of a pot, and the column's just adding a lot more power to that pot.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's like a big kettle. That wash goes in, heat it up. As that steam starts to rise, and alcohol boils at a lower temperature than water. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine it's like rising up.
Yeah.
With me, instead of going straight over to the condenser, what I've got is these extra distillation points where you'll get a puddle going on each of these, where the vapor's rising into it, condensing, and rising out again, and up the ladder it goes. So I also do a pink gin, so that's infused with sorrel to pull up that flavor. It just has this great pink color, and the tannic and tartness, there's this great flavor from the sorrel too.
Can you show me the final product?
Absolutely.
Looks like cognac color. Did you know that I've read some research that if you start drinking early in the morning, like what time is it now, 9:30, 10:30, you're actually gonna live longer. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
I made that up, but I got to spend half day with David at Antilles Stillhouse, and it was an interesting experience because seeing just a little tiny place, see his drinks in so many stores, not only here, but outside the country, it was incredible. One of the places that carries his stuff is the Quin Farara. Quin Farara is the oldest running family business in Antigua.
So Quin Farara is a person. He's actually my grandfather, and this is his shop. And he started this shop in 1924. So it is right now 100 years old.
Lisa, of course, invited me for a sample of a few drinks, and I also learned how to make a cocktail. Just another day at the office.
Just another day at the office.
You know what they say, if you drink in public, it's not Alcoholic Anonymous. I got to spend almost 2 weeks in Antigua and Barbuda, and I discovered culture, history, traditions, cuisine, all amazing. But up to this point, I didn't really get to see the party life. I mean, for the younger people, how do they do it? I came at the right time because Kai Coconut is the new toy in town where people now can use to party. It's a huge catamaran where you can actually rent it and go and throw a party there. I was invited by Glenn, the owner of the boat, to come with my crew and see how Antiguans party when it's time to party. What was even more interesting was Glenn's story. He has a very touching story and the lesson that many people can learn from.
So I was born in Dominica. I came to Antigua 31 years ago. $18 EC, which is equivalent to, you can do it $7 US. That's the equivalent. I came to Antigua in my suitcase with 2 mangoes also.
Although even the mangoes were confiscated at the airport, Glenn made it as an immigrant.
If you have a vision, if you know what you want, and if you work hard for it, you can make it. Because Antigua is an open market.
He did it, and now he throws parties for people, both locals and tourists. As the afternoon progressed, everybody got happier and happier. They used the slides, everybody started to dance. I got to meet a lot of people, fun, cool. So let's say that we had an unbelievable evening with a lot of memorable moments. And man, what an event it was. I ended up in Antigua after throwing a dart at the world map blindfolded while I was in Iceland. What a journey has been. I discovered a beautiful country, a beautiful culture, but time has come again to find a new destination. And this is why I brought my dart, my map, and my blindfold to Shirley's Heights, which offers the most beautiful view in this country. I was here the first night, and I promised myself I'm going to come back with the map, so I get to choose the destination of one of my next episodes. And that's what we're doing today. What are the rules? If I hit the ocean, I go to the closest landmass, the closest country. If I don't hit the map, obviously I throw again. If I hit a country that I've been to already, then I'll throw again. And these are the rules. So other than that, I'm ready to move on. Antigua has been amazing, but time has come to enjoy a new experience. Oh, what's happening here? Oh my God, this looks like Philippines. I think so. It's in between Philippines and Brunei, and actually I can see a part of Philippines being hit here. So Philippines, a big country. I have tons of Filipino friends. They're gonna be happy when they hear I hit Philippines. I don't know when I go exactly, but I know I'm gonna make magic happen there too. Philippines, I heard mixed stories from different people. Some had great experiences, some had bad experiences. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna go there, discover what it is. Philippines, I'm coming for you. Make sure you are ready for me. Let's go to Philippines. Overall, Antigua and Barbuda exceeded my expectations. I knew about the Caribbean style in many of the countries, but I've discovered a higher level of friendship, and I'm totally honest when I say this. And if you have some money to spend, you can become a citizen of this country by joining the Antiguan Citizenship by Investment Program.
It's marketed to high-end individuals who want to come and have a second home, and they will come in once they do due diligence. By the way, is very, very rigid, and they can either pay a fee there to get apart from the application fee. Once the process is completed, which takes between 45, 90, sometimes 120 days, what you will find is that they will either pay that route, or they can invest in the island, whether it's in an investment property or in a home. And the alternative is we also have an investment portfolio related to our University of the West Indies campus here. The key to it is, as I said, a means to encourage investment on the island, encourage people to visit the island. One of the stipulations is that you must spend 5 days on the island. So it's a win-win for us.
Move your body, feel the heat on the dance floor. Feel the beat, hands up high, let the rhythm flow. From the islands to the disco, jump and shout, let the vibes ignite. Feel the energy, let it take flight. Shake your hips, let your worries go.